For this last part of 4.10, we want to look at a function y equals square root of x plus 2, and this is the graph of that function. And we want to find the allowed inputs and the possible outputs. Some of you may have learned this in previous algebra classes. Allowed outputs is what they call domain. Allowed inputs is what they call domain, and the possible outputs is what they call range. But anyway, what does it mean allowed? What do you mean allowed? Well, if I have a square root, I cannot have a negative number inside a square root. So if x would be like -3, -3 plus 2 is a negative number, so -3 is not allowed. The lowest number that's allowed would be -2. So the allowed inputs would be x is greater than or equal to -2. I have no problem if it equals -2, because I could have the square root of 0. But if x is less than -2, for example, if x would be -3, so -3 plus 2 is -1. I can't have the square root of a negative number, so no good. This is the possible inputs. Now the possible outputs, we see that the y is always going to be positive, and it goes up and up and up forever. So it's just going to be y greater than or equal to 0. Y is greater than or equal to 0. Let's do another one. For this one here, we see the possible inputs just by looking at the graph. The x values go all the way from -5 to +5. Every x value between -5 and +5 has some point on the graph. The way I look at it is, imagine if I would look at the shadow of this graph on the x-axis. It would hit every x value between -5 and 5. And for the every value from -5 to +5 of y is hit, so y is going to be -5 to +5. And again, if I would shine a light here, a sideways light, the shadow on the y-axis would be from -5 to 5. That's the possible outputs, and here's the possible inputs. For this case, where I have a semicircle, the inputs is the x values go from -3 all the way to +3, but the y values only go from 0 to 3, and that will be the answer. Yay!